in their win over Creighton. So a battle of outsides ahead of us today.
Now Pittsburgh comes in, as we said, the 3 seed, 28-3 on the year. What a season. Kansas comes in 18-11, led by Ray Bouchard. And you got to give him credit. And that is not Ray Bouchard, but we'll get a look at him in a second. You got to give him credit because a month ago, this Kansas team was 12-11. They had lost 8 of 9. They didn't beat a single ranked team during the regular season, but here they are in the regional semis and out to the 1-point lead here. First point of the match goes to the Jayhawks. A diving attempt made by Cameron Turner and denied by Pittsburgh. And Kansas, we talked about what a Cinderella story. They've already upset Oregon and Creighton, who are both ranked in the top 20 as far as the top 25 rankings were concerned after they went 0-6 during the regular season against ranked teams.
Unbelievable. It's important to be playing your best volleyball in December. That's what Kansas is doing.
Too much power from Lecator member Made, the first team all-ACC transfer.
A transfer from Mizzou, one of the many players in this tournament taking advantage of that extra year of eligibility because of COVID. And with that, we have seen such parity across the sport of volleyball, so much experience on the floor.
For Pittsburgh, this is just the second time in program history. They're in the regional semifinal, but it's the second time in 8 months that they've been there. Made pushes it over. Tapped that off of Pittsburgh. And how about this? Kansas with the early lead.
Wow, how about the push there by Caroline Dien? That had trouble written all over it against a big physical block like Pitt. And it's Caroline Dien, who is only 6 foot tall. She's listed as a libero/outside hitter. And that's because she did not grow until she was about a junior or senior in high school. Expected to play libero position in college until she grew.
Yeah, the Big 12 freshman of the year. That one whizzes past the head of Jenny Mosher. Dan Fisher in charge of Pittsburgh. What a job he has done in his 9th season. Taking this program to new heights, notched career win number 300 against Penn State. 300 wins, 59 losses. Point Panthers.
Chinaza Inde there swinging from the right side. Another one of their 5th-year returners, returning All-American. So much power behind that swing of Inde. She plays with a lot of energy.
The 5th-year senior. Meanwhile, there is Lexis Akeo, the junior setter from Hawaii. 9th all-time in assist in program history. Member Made denied by Kansas. She'll try it again. How about this Jayhawks defense? You know, again, their motto is, we got nothing to lose. We're carefree, we're playing loose. Nobody expected us to be here, and you give Ray Bouchard credit for that.
Yeah, we're calling them Cinderella, but they're coming into it saying, why not us? They said all the pressure was really in the final 2 weeks of Big 12 play where they knew they had to win just to get into the tournament. And he said, ever since we've seen our name on the board, we've got a good vibe.
They're in a regional semi for just the 3rd time in program history, but they look like they belong.
Zabo, wow. Great job at 6'3". The redshirt senior. Played 17, 18, and 19 at Nebraska before transferring to Kansas, and she's a strong presence blocking on the right side.
Pittsburgh responds with a point courtesy of Lecator member Made.
Coach said member Mane has really just taken her game to the next level over the last month, hitting around 300 from the left side, and has really become a solid 6 rotation player in terms of her serve receive and the defense that she's playing across the backcourt.
Too strong. You know, Pitt's coming off one of the most dramatic 4-set victories you will ever see against Penn State. All 4 sets were decided by 3 points or less. But that was then. Here they are against Kansas. The Jayhawks went 8-8 in conference play. When you look at the numbers, not that impressive, but a lot of heart, a lot of resiliency. And a lot of effort early on that has them out to a 5-point lead and a timeout on the floor here in Pittsburgh. Rock Chalk Jayhawks, Kansas. Looking like they don't want to go home. Cinderella starting off strong. We'll be back in Pittsburgh.
Pitt was certainly aiming for all season long, their first opportunity ever. And I think with that comes a little nerves. The pressure is certainly on Pitt this weekend.
Serena Gray, the Penn State transfer, serving. This crowd's been waiting for a while. Member Monet flying in and just absolutely smashed one off of Kennedy Ferris.
We talked about her becoming a true 6 rotation player. That includes back row offense as well. That's a difficult ball to swing at. Coming from behind her, Alexis Akeo hangs one up in the middle of the court.
We were saying this match was supposed to start about an hour ago. The Pittsburgh fans came into the arena at about 1 o'clock. But due to Purdue and BYU going to 5 sets, had to wait a little bit longer. Point Pitt.
Jenny Mosier sailing one long there for Kansas, and we saw a rocky start for Pitt. Now after a timeout, maybe some nerves from Kansas, and these teams are trying to work their way here into the first set.
Serena Gray, team leader in aces. Turner. Kansas with a number of blocks early on, and the point for Jenny Mosier. Jayhawks with 3 blocks, Pitt with none.
Jenny Mosier winds up and just lets it go. Really nice attack there on the overpass.
Molly Schultz serving, the sophomore from Rockford, Minnesota. That one hammered in by Kayla Lund, the only 2-time All-American in Pitt history.
Kayla Lund, such a complete player, such a leader on the floor for this Pitt team. But they've come a long way because they actually went to Georgia Tech, where she played very, very limited rallies, and they were able to get a win on the road at Georgia Tech, which is a great sign for Pitt. It also shows the depth on this team as well.
Point for Kansas. You know, Lund missed those final 2 matches of the season, then only played 1 set, the first set in the opening round of the tournament, but finally played the entire match against Penn State, and as far as we can tell, looks pretty healthy.
Yeah, I heard her say that they weren't going to go crazy in practice, you know, because she played so well with what she's doing right now. So I would say probably dealing with some limited reps, but that's working for her right now, and they're going to stick with it.
What a dig by Ferris, the team leader with nearly 300 on the year. Pittsburgh stepping up the defense. That one out of the reach of member Monet.
Nice athletic play there by Cameron Turner, 22 in blue for Kansas. She is their freshman, setting a 5-1 for them. This Kansas team has been in a 6-2 and a 5-1 throughout the course of the season. Coach Bouchard told me early on he felt like a 5-1 was probably their DNA. The 6-2 allows them to be a little more physical, but they've gone to the 5-1 with Cameron Turner, a great athlete who's really developing as a setter.
Kansas had to win their final 4 matches of the regular season to get in, including a couple of 5-set wins against Kansas State and TCU. Lund serving for Pitt. Into the net it goes.
Rachel Lang's on the slide behind. Kansas feels like she is as good off 1 foot as anyone they've had, so expect to see a lot of that.
Lund with 27 aces on the year and make it 28.
Look at this, drops one right into the middle of the court. So often going for corners, going for deep court, but that time just really splits the passers and creates some confusion.
And that ace now ties her for second all time. Kayla Lund has now moved into sole possession of second place for aces with 153 in her career. Timeout to the semis. Lost to Washington last year. Again, 8 months ago. Technically, it's the last season in the regional finals. Kayla Lund coming off consecutive aces. Nice save by Lund. Doing a little bit of everything right now. Kansas keeping it alive. Molly Schultz with the dig. And a point for Pitt.
And that block for Kansas just about a half a step late. And the tempo of the Pitt offense, look how fast that ball is pushed back to Ende. You can't afford to be a half a step late, but I love the defensive effort there by Lund early in that rally to keep the ball alive. After Pitt lost to Louisville this year, they said we have to find a few more digs and a few more blocks. We have to elevate our game slightly defensively, find a few more points for us to make the run as deep as we want to make it in the tournament. So I think defense is key for them.
Pitt now on a 6-0 run. Chinaza Ende with the last 2 points.
Another great pickup in the backcourt there by Rachel Fairbanks, and Ende having her way offensively.
The All-American fifth-year senior from Houston, Texas. Lund serving yet again. That one sent well wide by Caroline Bien. And Pittsburgh suddenly up by 3.
And you now have seen Bien and both Mosier sail a ball, as you said, well long. And the reason for that is they're trained to swing for high hands. So they're attempting there to go off the top of the block. It looks like, you know, such a crazy miss. But they are swinging with a purpose there.
7-0 run for Pitt after trailing early. Ende. Pitt now on an 8-0 run.
Kansas in the net doing everything they can to try to slow down that big swing from Ende, and that time they touched the net there.
Well, meanwhile, one person skipped school for this. They said, hey, it's well worth it if you're a Pittsburgh fan. They're up 15-11. So not only are the fans packing this place in, the opposing coaching staff who awaits the winner of this one, Dave Shondell, the Purdue coaching staff, is sitting at the end of the court scouting out this contest. What do you make so far, Missy?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a really, really great regional final, and I think we can say that even though we don't know the teams across the country. I think we can say that because I love the fact that the NCAA has finally built in that day of rest.
Oh yeah.
So they will not turn around and play tomorrow. And if you think about Purdue, the long 5-setter that we just witnessed, that win over BYU, for teams like that, that day of rest is going to be critical. I think it's going to allow us to see teams at their very best in the regional final, and really that's what everyone wants.
The Pittsburgh players say the key to their success, their practices are like, quote, organized chaos. They practice all the contingencies, the odd touches, to make sure they're prepared for any and every situation.
Absolutely. I was able to watch practices yesterday, and I love the way that, Pitt puts their players in challenging situations. Everything felt like a competition in their practice. I saw some 6-on-6 where, players are split on both sides of the net. It wasn't just the starting group on one side going through their rotations, but very competitive practice. And I think, for Pitt, that's been key this year because they have players who have continued to develop. Their rotations have changed. Their players in the lineup have changed over the course of the season. And, I asked Coach Fisher, I said, is this your deepest team? He said, absolutely. And is it your most balanced team? He said, absolutely. And he said, because of that, they can win in a lot of different ways.
And Lund is the key to that. They've gone on their big run with her serving. And Kansas players collide. Cameron Turner ran into Rachel Langs. And now this is An especially tough environment for Kansas. Not the crowd is back into it with Pitt up by 5.
And you see why those top 4 seeds are so important to have your home court advantage, your fans behind you. What a difference it can make.
Well, Pitt just dominating right now on a 10-0 run after that block.
Inde alongside Chiamaka Wokolo in the middle, who, interesting, has played some right side early this season as they were trying to determine what was their strongest lineup. Wokolo back to the middle where she spent last season. And she's such a good blocker, but I think offensively she gives them more out of the middle as she's used to that fast-paced attack.
Wokolo, the junior from Columbus, Ohio. And finally, Kansas answers thanks to Rachel Langs, the senior from Fairview, Texas.
Nice response from Kansas. I like the X-style play as she comes out of right front and swings out of the middle across her body. It gives her an opportunity to swing around that big Pitt block.
Kennedy Ferris serving for Kansas. Ende, too strong.
Another nice ball. That one delivered by Rachel Fairbanks, wearing 10 in white for Pitt. You see her delivery here. Nice quick tempo. Pitt runs a 6-2, which means they used two setters throughout the year, but at times it was Lexis Akeo and Kylie Levers. I think it's really difficult to have a consistent offense with 2 setters, let alone 3. And now they're using Rachel Fairbanks, and they don't seem to skip a beat.
Dig on the back row. And just setting it up. And sent down by Caroline Crawford, the All-Big 12 second teamer.
And speaking of multiple setters, I said I thought Kansas would be in a 5-1, but that was Elise McGee into the match along with London Davis. And so Kansas flipping into their 6-2 at times when they feel like it gives them an advantage. Elise McGee coming in and delivering a key set there.
Cameron Turner, the freshman, serving. Member Monet off Kansas and out of bounds. I mean, Member Monet and Chinaza Ende deliver so much power. Even if Kansas gets their hands on it, they don't get total control of it. 19-13 Pitt.
And the tempo is coming at you in a hurry. So as a blocker, if you're in a read situation, it's difficult to catch up.
After the service error by Pitt, 20-14. Set over nicely by Serena Gray. Too much for Kansas to handle.
Serena Gray, a transfer from Penn State. And if you remember us saying it was Penn State who Pitt had to defeat in order to advance to this round, had to take down her former team. She had 6 blocks in that one. Team had 12, and she was in on half of them.
Huge addition to an already talented roster, but Kansas keeps fighting back. Jenny Mosher. Jayhawks not going away quietly. They've come too far, again taking down Creighton and Oregon, 2 teams that were ranked 19 and 20 in the last top 25 set of rankings. Let's dig on the back row by the end.
That ball awkwardly off Szabo's hand, just lands out of bounds, not clean contact for her. Trying to turn it down the line.
So Gray serving for Pitt. She was a 2-time All-American at Penn State. 38 aces. Free ball for Pitt. Kansas with the block.
Interesting set choice there. They actually had Wokolo going behind. She's calling for a quick set behind. Fairbanks all the way out at the pin, and they try to shoot one past Wokolo and catch the block off guard. But really nice job there by Jenny Mosher of staying with Fairbanks there. And interestingly, Fairbanks, not only has she worked her way into the lineup, but she's setting in 3 rotations and attacking in 3 rotations. Really versatile player.
Second service error of the day by Kansas. Right now, the Jayhawks hitting 111. Pitt has bumped that number up to 241 on their end. That one awkwardly sent back. Kansas coming up with a number of key defensive plays at the net, and that one destroyed by Cameron Turner.
Wow, Coach said she's just a phenomenal athlete, does so many things well, and still developing as a setter because she always attacked in her club days. Well, there's one of the reasons why she always attacked. She does it quite well.
The freshman from Topeka, Kansas. And by the way, the Jayhawks now with 4 blocks on the day, Pitt with 1.
And to your point, Kansas came into the tournament 16th in the nation in blocking with 2.65 blocks per set. That led the Big 12, and you know what a big physical league the Big 12 is. So those numbers are impressive for a reason.
Jayhawks now with 299 blocks on the season. Pitt trying to respond, and they do get the point. So set point here in the opening set between the Panthers and the Jayhawks. Kansas got out to the early 8-3 lead. Pitt responded with a huge run, trying to put this one to bed. Off the Lund serve. Tap back over quickly. Wise play by Cameron Turner.
Yeah, she's a baller. You can see it. She's got really great future.
Mixing it up nicely. Set point again for the Panthers, and the home crowd on their feet and chanting. Off the Ferris serve. Ende! Point Pitt, set Pitt.
That Kansas block is there on the final point, but Ende just too powerful as she blasts one off the hands.
Pitt.
5 blocks for Kansas in that first set. That is really the DNA of who they are, a physical, big, long blocking team, and they did that very well, to their credit.
And also, yeah, give Kansas credit. After that 10-0 Pitt run, the Jayhawks could have easily folded. They did not. They fought back, and it was only a 6-point set.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Kayla Lund getting ready to serve now for Pitt. What a first set she had with 3 aces, moving her into sole possession in that category of second place all-time in program history. Lecator member Monet denied, but that one out of play. Pittsburgh with the first point of set number 2.
Member Monet does a good job going off hands there, but no matter what, you really, as an attacker, have to contend with that Kansas block. They do a great job of closing. They're getting hands on every attack.
I feel like they've scored about 60% of their points, at least with Lund serving.
Yeah.
Diving attempt made by a couple of Panthers, but it drops in for the point. Rachel Fairbanks was among the crowd there defensively for Pitt.
And that was Mosier there, 7 in blue for Kansas with the big swing. One of many fifth-year players who had big hopes for this year and runs in the tournament. And I think no matter what, Kansas has got to be pretty happy with the run they're making.
And happy with that point, courtesy of Rachel Langs, the senior.
Rachel Langs at 6'3". A really big presence at the net. I like the way the teams we've seen here in Pittsburgh so far today have been aggressive on those overpasses.
Ende. You can tell Kansas is not intimidated by the moment or the crowd. They are taking it all in and enjoying it.
Yeah, I realized there were 7 teams selected from the Big 12 for the NCAA tournament. So they've played big volleyball matches all year long.
And again, remember, when they faced Texas, the number 2 seed in the tournament, they faced them earlier in the regular season. In Lawrence, they took the first 2 sets against the Longhorns before Texas fought back for the reverse sweep.
It was actually tied 21-all in the 3rd set.
Unreal.
And it looked like Kansas had the opportunity to sweep Texas. It really looked like it was going to happen, and the tables turned, and it was a reverse sweep for Texas.
Get another look at that one. Did it go in or out? It appeared in right there.
Yeah, I think the call on the floor will stand, and yes, it does. That ball is called in on that Ende attack, who she's doing a really nice job with the sharp angle, using the entire court with her attack from the right side. But, you know, I don't dislike that early challenge there by Coach Bouchard, trying to swing things the way of the Jayhawks here early.
Valeria Vasquez Gomez, the sophomore from Puerto Rico, serving for Pitt. Panthers set it up. Kansas there on the other end. Member Monet, big block by the Jayhawks. That is now 6 on the day for Kansas.
Another block. So impressed with not only their length, but their foot speed at the net. Some teams with the length of Kansas aren't able to close the blocks, but Caroline Crawford and Langs doing a fantastic job. And of course, when you have Zabo out there at 6'3" at the right pin, that helps a little.
That's now over 300 blocks on the season for the Jayhawks. And another. That was just a block party. And the Jayhawks, just like the first set, up early on the number 3 seed, Pitt.
Great job here by Langs, just staying in the middle when she sees that back row attack coming.
Langs, the 6'3" senior. Service error by the Jayhawks. That is their 3rd of the day.
Molly Schultz there for Kansas. And I'll tell you what, that ball looked like it was going to be well long. As a passer, I would have let it go also, but it really drops right beyond the end line.
Alexis Sakeo, 21 aces on the year. Now, at what point, if you're Pitt, because it looked like, okay, after the rough start in this match in the first set, they were pulling away. Well, now here comes Kansas. They are a pesky Kansas squad. They will not go away.
They really are. I think to get 4 consecutive wins to end Big 12 play, that's kind of just become who they are. Just gritty. Yeah.
Jenny Mosher with the ace.
Coach told me at one point this season, he said, we've sort of gained competitive composure over the course of the season. And I really liked that when he said that to me. We've gained competitive composure. Because you're not going to win every set. And yet they tend to not go away, this Kansas team.
Lecator, member Monet. I mean, you talk about a vertical. Good grief.
This is a one-on-one opportunity.
It's like Turner, she's on a trampoline.
Yeah, Turner just trying to go up and take away the easy cross-court angle shot. But member Monet pulls it down the line. She's listed at 5'8", by the way.
Using all that and then some. Reached that one. How about the dig by member Monet? Tapped over by Lund. And that bounces in. Point Kansas.
So much talented youth on this Kansas team. You see 2 freshmen right there in your shot, Bien, and of course the setter Cameron Turner, 22.
Caroline Bien tied a career high in their last match with 21 kills against Creighton. Here's Kennedy Ferris serving. New teammate service error. Jayhawks still in front. And getting ready to serve is Serena Gray. 3 aces in their last contest against Penn State. And that is in. Another ace for Gray and the Panthers as a team. That is their 4th of the day.
And boy, have we already seen some great serving today. Players just painting the corners, splitting passers. We've seen movement on balls that are just dropping at the end line. You know, the commitment to serving tough has been become such a key part of the game.
Went back to the same corner. Ferris was there. They set up Lund. Oh, what a defensive play. But that one deflected out of play. Point Pitt.
But again, you see the quick tempo of this Pitt offense as the ball is set outside. Crawford jumped with Wokolo, thinking maybe she was going to take it over. And then that quick ball to the outside, and it's another one-on-one opportunity for Pitt.
Pitt on a mini 3-0 run with Gray serving. That one sent down immediately by Caroline Crawford.
Great hang time by Caroline Crawford, and sort of the no look here as she's facing into the angle and tips it over her shoulder, short into right front.
The team leader in hitting percentage during the year, hitting .303. Lund wound up for that one. And a point for the Panthers. Gets so much power behind her swings.
Yeah, I love this high, deep swing here from Lund, as again, Pitt doing a great job now of avoiding that Kansas block that's been so good by picking up the tempo of their offense. Their middles are coming in hard, and they're holding the middle blocker and then shooting it onto the outside.
Off the Rachel Fairbanks serve. Bit of miscommunication there. Well, Kansas has been giving Pitt all they can handle early on in sets. We'll see what happens here in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's
set number 2.
Such a good point. You know, you reach about that 10 to 10, and then can one team separate?
Pitt with the point.
I think the call there is actually being under the net, her foot going under the net. In a situation like that would be considered dangerous.
Get one more look at that.
And so once she goes under, you see, yeah, her entire foot under the net. That has to be called just because the danger of the situation. That if one of the opposing players comes down and lands on it, you've got a rolled ankle.
One block to the point for Kansas. The Jayhawks with 8 blocks compared to just 1 for Pitt.
Yeah, and Caroline Crawford is just so long and physical along the net, has great eye work and hand work. She blocks a whole lot of balls.
The Big 12 Freshman of the Year serving. Oh, that one absolutely smashes Cameron Turner. Chiamaka Wokolo with the point.
Look at this. Coach said she is such a team player because there were times this year when they put her on the right side and she wasn't comfortable attacking from the right side, but she was willing to do whatever's best for the team. You can see now back in the middle what an offensive force she can be.
That one sent off of Member Benet into the stands.
And Caroline Crawford not quite connecting offensively necessarily. Haven't seen her take big swings, using an open hand tip shot quite a bit. So I don't know if the connection isn't there or if there's just something she likes in terms of the scouting report of kind of throwing the ball around and forcing that defense to have to pick up the off speed.
Service errors really hurting Kansas right now. Already 5 on the day. But against a team like Pitt, you can't really make many mental mistakes and hope to take down the 3 seed of the nation. Self-enforced errors for Kansas. Vasquez Gomez serving. Bouncing around on Pitt's end. Member Benet sends it over. And a point for Kansas.
And I tell you what, this Kansas team does a great job in tight situations where it looks like the block is going to be at the advantage of finding ways to score points. And I think that's interesting because obviously they practice against their own players. We've seen what a great blocking team Kansas is. And so in their gym, they've had to find ways around a big block.
Jayhawks back within 1. Until that spike by Serena Gray.
Talk about a nice addition to your team in terms of transfers. Serena Gray staying in state, making the move from Penn State to Pitt. Coach called her a very natural offensive player. You can see why.
I'll say she's hitting 400 on the season.
Yeah.
And having a big impact in this match. But a service error for the Panthers. In this set, Pitt hitting 357. How about Kansas hitting 538 here in the second set?
Yeah, this is a just sneaky good team.
Jenny Mosher serving. Serena Gray at it again at the net.
I tell you, that's the other way for Pitt to avoid what we know can become a very dominant block from Kansas. And that's, hey, pass balls really well, quickly go to the middle, and that's going to be a one-on-one opportunity versus putting your pin players up against 2 big blockers.
Gray now with 3 kills. An ace and 3 digs. Remember, Benet serving. Turner setting up the end. They go back to Gray in the middle. 3 straight points for Serena Gray.
They like the matchup they've got there. And I'll tell you what, most people like Serena Gray against about anyone in the middle. It's the speed of the attack. Really nice finish there by Gray.
That brings the fans to their feet here at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. We'll be back. Pitt up by here are the regional semifinals.
That's a fun rematch there, Minnesota-Baylor. They played earlier this season. You gotta love those rematches in the postseason. When you drop one early in the year, if you're Minnesota, you have a chance to avenge a loss.
Lecator member Monet serving for Pitt. Bien denied. They go back to her. Big 12 freshman of the year delivers.
There are no small swings for Kansas. I think that's my favorite thing about watching this Kansas team. They're just going to keep coming at you. Second swing for Caroline Bien after being blocked, and just a huge rip cross court.
Bien now with the team leading 4 kills. Serena Gray, I mean, just dominating right now in the second set.
The middle is working. Why not feed it? If I'm Pitt, I continue to go to it. Great swings by Serena Gray, but really credit the backcourt for the ball control they're displaying right now for Pitt in order to run that middle set so consistently.
Gray with 5 kills, and the majority of them here in the second set. She's serving, and with the ace, she's doing it all. Serena Gray with her second ace of the day.
Really great display of serving. To talk to these coaches throughout the year, they have made such a committed effort to improve their serve game, and you're seeing it.
And I think Kansas senses this is a crucial point, not only in the set, in the match, and their season. You let this one get away, and it's going to be tough to come back from.
Yeah, a really quick timeout here from Kansas, but I couldn't agree more. You are so right. It's not just about this set, but you don't want to go down 2-0, and you don't want to allow Pitt to do it on a big run.
Our coverage of the women's volleyball regionals continues later tonight on ESPNU from the Texas Regional in Austin. Second-seeded Longhorns taking on Washington at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Nebraska facing Illinois at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. For more info, go to ncaa.com, your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Any one of these in particular intrigue you the most?
I really want to see the Illinois-Nebraska matchup, that in-conference meeting here in the regionals. I'll tell you what, Illinois, when they took down Kansas, Kentucky, that wasn't Kentucky losing. That was Illinois playing some really good volleyball. I feel like they've come together at just the right time. Marina Terry was on an absolute tear. That is a big physical Illinois team, and on a neutral court, who knows what could happen.
And listen, Big Ten conference play during the regular season was like a tournament in itself. I mean, all those teams coming out battle-tested as they enter the postseason. Serena Gray, what a performance so far. 5 kills, she's hitting .833 to go with 2 aces as well. Dan Fisher looks on again. It's just the second time in program history Pitt has made it to the regional semis. Kansas responds courtesy of Caroline Crawford, the sophomore.
And we mentioned earlier, we've seen a lot of open hand tipping from Crawford. She's a dominant attacker, and so this is a really nice connection. Feed her the ball, play the game that Pitt's playing. Swing out of the middle, try to get some one-on-one looks there.
Cameron Turner serving. Lund taps it over. That is in. But, you know, Kansas is here for a reason. But how surprised are you that the first set was awfully close, and again the second one here against the number 3 seed in the nation?
Well, I think when you have the block that Kansas has, defense keeps you in matches. And blocking is that first line of defense. And so I think, you know, Kansas has that ability to play with anyone because of that big block.
Off the Fairbanks serve. Free ball for Pitt. There's another block, but that one out of bounds.
And it's strategic. You know, we've seen several one-on-one opportunities for Pitt out at the left pin because the speed of the offense, you can't block them all. And so there's some strategic decisions being made by Kansas as to where Caroline Crawford, who she's going to shadow, which side she's going to cheat toward. And so there's going to be some misses, but with that, we've also seen a lot of makes in terms of them getting the block.
And Kansas led early in this set. There's a point off the service error, number 4 by the Panthers today. But Pitt at least has 5 aces to go with those errors. For Kansas right now, 5 service errors, 1 ace so far. There is Caroline Bien, 28 aces. Here during her freshman campaign, Kansas answers back with the point. Their bench coming alive. Jayhawks back within 3.
And they never look rattled. We talked about that competitive composure. They are just steady in the boat.
Both teams are hitting over 520 in this set. Set it up for Ende, and she finishes it off.
Wow, big rib from Ende, and that's against a really formidable block. And you see again Crawford not quite able to make the close, but still Szabo out there at that right pin, and Ende looks like she's swinging at an empty net.
She's got a match high 11 kills, hitting .643. Lund serving. Bien had to reach for that one. Lund saves it. Ende with another point.
And I really believe that over the course of the season, Pitt has elevated their game defensively. They're able to extend rallies. That was a big swing by Kansas, and it didn't end the rally. Instead, it's a transition dig from Pitt. Ende able to finish it.
She's hitting .667. Her teammate Serena Gray hitting .833. There's the block by the Panthers. Right there, probably checking scores from around the nation. Maybe watching ESPN Plus, who knows? We'll see. He'll be back in action with his Boilermakers on Saturday against the winner of this one. Jayhawks keep fighting.
And again, out of a timeout, where does Kansas go? To the middle. Caroline Crawford, credit the passers, because you can draw that up, and that can be your desire, but if the pass isn't there, there's absolutely no setting the middle. So another great job by those Kansas passers out of the timeout.
Ray Bouchard, winningest coach in Kansas volleyball history, and on his 24th season. Heck of a squad he has put together this year. And just the 3rd time ever they have made it to the regional semis, and not going away anytime soon. They're back within 4.
Haven't seen a lot of errors from Pitt, but that ball just set too tight. Fairbanks with a nice choice as she's moving across the court trying to set against the flow, but sets it into the block.
Set up Wokolo. That one off of Lund. Jayhawks point.
Szabo off the hands of the blockers, forces Lund to have to try to make a play on that ball. And look at this, the defense of the Jayhawks to even keep it alive and get a swing, let alone such a quality swing from Szabo.
Kansas hitting .522 in this set, and there's an ace for the Jayhawks. They're within 2.
And Pitt feels as though one of their big strengths is passing. They felt all season long that their serve pass has kept them in matches and given them the advantage. They have a lot of confidence in their passing game, so this is a huge ace from Kansas here.
Audrey Suter, the senior from Flower Mound, Texas, coming up with a monster ace right there. What is Kansas talking about right now in the huddle?
Well, you know, you put the serve in play, and so the discussion here is about defending the attack. And when the serve has not been tough, we've seen Pitt regularly go to the middle. So I think they're ready for the middle attack, but hoping that they can put a tough enough serve in play that they create an out-of-system look for Pitt where they can get 2 blockers up.
Again, just a month ago, the Jayhawks were barely over 500. 12-11, they lost 8 of 9. And about a week before that, they had dropped 6 in a row. They didn't even know if they would get into the tournament. And here they are, going blow for blow with the 3 seed in the nation. I mean, that is an awfully impressive story.
Yeah, and talk about learning to play with pressure. They said the pressure was felt in those final weeks of Big 12 play when they said we didn't really have to talk about it. We all knew. We know what's on the line. We know we wanted to be the Kansas team to get back to the tournament for the first time since 2017, and we knew we had to win out those final weekends, and they got the job done. And you can see they're able to play a little bit loose right now. Absolutely no pressure on them.
This is the first time they've even been in the NCAA tournament in 4 years. Have already upset Creighton and Oregon. Dropped the first set by 6. And hanging right with Pitt here in set number 2, Audrey Suter. Fresh off the ace, getting ready to serve. The crowd getting back into it now here in Pittsburgh, cheering on Pitt. Member Monet goes up top for that one. He says enough.
Nice pass there by Pitt. They do not go to the middle, but because of the pass, look, the option is there. And the defender for Kansas has to stay in the middle, and then you just see the speed of that ball, especially to Member Monet. They are setting her such a quick ball at the left pin.
She's second on the team with 8 kills. Here's Vasquez Gomez serving. Lund was there for the dig. Member Monet denied by the Jayhawks. They are out blocking Pitt 9-2.
Wow. Zabo alongside Langs, and look at the difference. You know, at 5'8", out of system with 2 blockers waiting on you, that's a tough swing. And that's why first contact and the speed of the offense is so important for Pitt.
Got a couple of 6'3" players up there for Kansas, and Zabo and Langs. Member Monet this time goes for the soft touch. And back and forth. And the point for Pitt. Set point coming up here in set number 2 for the Panthers. Alexis Akeo getting ready to serve. Birthday coming up on Monday. About to turn 20. Hoping to get an early present here. Finish off the second set, and they do! Pitt takes set number 2, 25-21.
And in that current set, Pitt with 16 kills. So generating their own points once again. It looked for a while like Kansas was not going to be able to generate points offensively. They end that set with 13 kills, so they pick up their offense there at the end of the set, but just too little too late.
The Panthers hit 480 in that set, 339 on the day, and they are 1 set away from advancing to the region. If it is, I mean, it's now 2-0 Pitt. We'll look ahead for a second. If it is Pitt versus Purdue, I'm not going to say who do you like, but what do you make of that contrast in styles?
Wow, it's just going to be so much fun. I just think it'll be interesting to see if it's as streaky as the match we saw, you know, today with Purdue. I will say, you know, Purdue had some weaknesses that BYU was certainly able to capitalize on. They had some rotations where they really struggled, and we'll see if Pitt can take advantage of that.
And again, kudos to the NCAA for allowing a dark day tomorrow where both these teams have the day off to rest and recuperate, because Purdue went 5 sets and then some. It went beyond 15 points in the 5th set. Meanwhile, Pitt, what looks to be a much shorter match on the way here against Kansas.
Certainly the opportunity to be a shorter match, and you know Coach Fisher wants that he is saying, hey, let's continue to raise our level. They were better in set 2 than they were in set 1. Can they be better in set 3 than they were in set 2? Can they maintain their focus over the course of the entire match?
Dan Fisher looks on again, 28-3, 12-2 at home this year for his Panthers. Janaza Ende, by the way, with 13 kills for Pitt. And they're out to the early lead here in set number 3.
A miss there for Mosier as that one actually goes into the net tape. Doesn't touch the blocker, just into the net tape, out of bounds.
Vasquez Gomez serving for Pitt. 5 aces for the Panthers today. Lund got a hand on it. Point for Kansas.
And a double contact called. We saw double contact in the first match here today between BYU and Purdue. We saw it called against both schools. So it's been a consistent call we've seen throughout the day. You saw the ball just spin out of Fairbank's hands there.
Caroline Crawford serving for Kansas. Jayhawks haven't gone away quietly. Led early on in each of the first 2 sets. But Pitt up here 4-1 in the 3rd.
In that particular rotation there, they forced the setter for Kansas to make the first contact, and then it's Caroline Crawford who has to try to step in as a middle blocker and make second contact. That ball was hard to get to.
Alexis Akeo serving, the junior. Turner set it up for Jenny Mosher.
And I think think that's a good matchup there for Mosier with Fairbanks in the front row at 6 foot tall. That doesn't sound short, but in volleyball standards, that's not one of the bigger blocks that she's used to facing. So she feels like she has some room to swing there.
Lacey Angelo, the senior from Lansing, Kansas, serving for the Jayhawks. Oh, the block by Kansas off the gray hit. She goes back at it.
Yeah, net violation, unfortunately, there against Kansas, because you have to like the recovery from Langs, who jumped with the setter, made a mistake and jumped with the setter, then look, on the floor, right back up. The athleticism there to make 2 plays in a row, but it eventually draws Kansas into the net.
Hit up by 3. Lakator, Member Monet. Timeout on the floor. With the Panthers out to the early lead here in set number 3. You know, Member Monet, up until last year, she didn't even know Pitt had a volleyball program. She was looking to transfer from Missouri, got in touch with the coaches and the players as there's a challenge right here.
Okay. I believe it's probably still challenging a net violation, and maybe Kansas thinking that Serena Gray caught the net, wanting to have take another look at that one. And why would you not here in set 3? Use those challenges that are available to you.
Saw Dan Fisher and Ray Bouchard there. Dan Fisher in charge of Pitt. The players said they love the fact that he cares about their mental health, constantly checking up on them. He's not just about the sport, not just about the physical aspect. He's all about the mental aspect as well, and treating them as family. And they obviously love playing for him. They've had a tremendous season. Pitt is 18-0 this year. Went up 2 sets to nothing. And it looks like they are going to reverse the call coming off the challenge. That is the early word we're getting. But it is point Kansas. So now we're back to a 1-point set.
Great challenge by Kansas there early in this one, to stay within striking distance here of Pitt. And I believe it's called as a back row block on the Pitt setter, who is up at the net trying to make a play and unintentionally makes a block.
And again, with their season on the line, they got to pull out all the stops. They lose this set, and the Cinderella story has come to an end. Tremendous dig by Pitt, courtesy of Ashley Browski. Free ball for Kansas. Off of Member Monet, out of play, and we are tied at 4. Same theme as the first 2 sets.
Yeah, Kansas just sticking around. And Langs, who we mentioned earlier, Kansas really likes her off 1 foot. Really nice job there, bringing some heat.
Jenny Mosher, super senior, getting ready to serve. Came into this contest with 26 aces on the season. Ray Bouchard getting an explanation from the officials. So apparently, yeah, the official explaining they were out of rotation, so Pittsburgh will get the point.
So if Kansas won that last challenge, then either they rotated or didn't rotate, one or the other, as they should have, went to the next server or didn't go to the next server. And Pitt picks up on that. Nice catch by Pitt.
So Pitt will now go up by 1, 5-4, according to the call. Ray Bouchard obviously not thrilled with his team down 2 sets to nothing.
And they may need some clarification now, as they're allowed to ask the down official who is their next server in the rotation, so that they can correct their rotation on the floor.
Well, right now Pitt in this set hitting 167. Kansas minus 200. And Ray Bouchard still wants a better explanation. With a mascot regardless, the players getting the crowd pumped up here at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse as they are trying to finish off Kansas and move on to face Purdue on Saturday at 4 Eastern in the regional final, with a chance to then head to Columbus, Ohio. Okay, I think they've gotten things officially squared away. It is 5-3 Pitt, with the Panthers serving. Lecator member Monet for the serve. Browski with the dig. Too far from Kayla Lund. So after all that, we're back to a 1-point set. Mosher 1 ace, team high 6 kills for the Jayhawks. Oh, tremendous dig by Mosher as well. They set up Gray, and she absolutely smashes that one for the point.
Turner had a big block for Kansas along the net in that rally to keep them alive, but in transition, if you can get the ball to your middle that quickly in transition, the defense just does not have time to prepare.
It's unstoppable.
Absolutely.
And Gray getting ready to serve. She's now got 6 kills, a couple of aces as well for the transfer. Cameron Turner, and it's in.
Right
She's
on
done that
the
a couple of times.
Yeah, right on the sideline, and she uses 2 hands in order to disguise it. So look, it looks like she's going to set, looks like she's going to set, and all of a sudden, just turns on it.
Her eyes are even towards her teammates.
Yeah, incredible disguise.
Great play by Turner. That one off of Ferris, courtesy of Rachel Fairbanks. Freshman.
Fairbanks, such a versatile player, as we said, setting in 3 rotations for Pittsburgh and attacking from the right side in those 3 rotations. Nice footwork on her part, just wrist away. It allows her to swing down the line.
One of the few underclassmen getting regular playing time on this veteran roster for Pitt. That one tapped in there by Kansas. Caroline Crawford, they are doing a nice job of setting Pitt up with the power and then changing speeds.
Yeah, she just chases that one down the net. I mean, she's got great feet, so fast from side to side that you feel like on that slide play, she's just going to go up and get it, but drops it right in the middle.
Browski slid awkwardly on that one, but got it done. They set up Lund, denied. Pitt with another opportunity. Member Monet, she can't get it across. Somehow they do. And we haven't heard much from her, but the freshman gets the point.
Tell you what, good block coverage there from Pitt as they're starting to get used to Kansas blocking a lot of balls, because it's happening time and time again. Caroline Crawford gets that one, and then right back at them with an off-speed shot, so forcing Pitt to chase balls.
Well, we were tied until that spike in the middle, where Pitt has done a ton of damage. Lund serving for the Panthers. Pitt with 5 aces today. Oh, and sent down by Wokolo. It's been Wokolo and Gray in the middle doing a lot of that damage.
Absolutely, and you can just see players like Lund, players like Serena Gray, the leaders on this Pitt team, what a premium they put on serving. It is such an important part of their attack, really.
They've scored a majority of their points today with either Lund or Gray serving.
Miscommunication there. Setter going to make a play on that ball, and Caroline Crawford in the center of the court goes to make an above head play as well. They collide, and so that ends up being called a mishandling.
Pitt trying to pull away, now up by 3. Already up 2-0. Yen flying in with the power of the Big 12 freshman of the year.
Crawford absolutely sells her fake here, though. She comes in really hard. I mean, it looks like that ball is going to her. Wokolo has to jump with Crawford, which leaves only one on the outside. And so for Bien, a lot of her success, you know, freshman of the year in the Big 12, is dependent on how hard those middles work, and they work really hard for Kansas.
Freshman serving, Lecator, member Monet answers for Pitt.
What a nice set by the freshman Rachel Fairbanks here, as she just makes a really good decision. And in that decision, she puts great tempo on the ball, puts it right in the window for member Monet.
First team All-ACC. Valeria Vasquez Gomez with 11 aces on the season. Mosher denied. And Pitt, we're talking about Kansas's blocks. They have 10 of them, but Pitt's starting to get involved there defensively, and a timeout on the floor.
You see Pitt really celebrate that one because they've had to work hard for those blocks. They have 3 now to Kansas's 10.
The Panthers back up by 4. We'll be back in Pittsburgh.
The is presented by Buick, the official SUV of the end.
To battle back, especially despite dropping the first 2 sets, they were in both of them, and again here in the third within 3.
Yeah, this is a team who obviously was thrilled just to be selected for the tournament this year, but I don't think that'll be the case in years moving forward. I think this is a team that you will consistently see in the tournament moving forward.
That one out of bounds off the Jayhawks. Member Monet will take that. Doesn't have a great hitting percentage today because of all the blocks, but gets the point for the Panthers. Alexis Sakeo, top 10 all-time in program history at assists. Sakeo setting up member Monet. They go back to the transfer. She comes through with the point, her 11th kill of the contest.
Just finds the opening in this block. You see, as she's swinging, Langs is leaving the floor. And so she's just about a step ahead of that block right now with the speed of the offense.
Member Monet and Ende have combined for 24 kills. Pittsburgh's defense stepping up here in the third set.
And trying a little different look here as they bring number 21 into the match. That's another freshman. A lot of young players on this Kansas team. London Davis has played on the right side for them when they go to a 6-2 situation. They run her right up the middle.
Well, another timeout, and now Pittsburgh up by 6. And you look at the stats, really starting to increase their lead and increase the hitting percentage. They're up to 400 here in the third set. Kansas hitting just 111 at this point. Taking a look around the country. You check out number 12 Minnesota taking on the 5 seed Baylor, currently on ESPNU. Ohio State, Georgia Tech on ESPN+. Later on tonight, Wisconsin, UCLA. Texas hosting Washington, and Nebraska and Illinois on the U. A full day and evening of action. Everybody gets tomorrow off, and then the regional finals take place on Saturday. So Pittsburgh started off slow to begin the match. Again, this one started more than an hour after they were originally supposed to get underway. You wonder if that had an impact on the players kind of sitting around waiting a little bit. Kansas came out on fire, up 8-3 early.
I do think that's one of the difficult parts of the tournament, is that you get warmed up, you know, you think, okay, we're about to play, okay, it's going 4 sets, okay, it's time to get warmed up again, now it's going 5 sets. You know, I mean, that's very difficult.
And then, okay, they're in the 5th set. It's still not over after one team reaches 15 points.
Yes, yes.
Since Purdue ended up with the win and obviously had to win by 2, so it went beyond 15, but the Boilermakers win the thriller. Pittsburgh controlling play here. Up by 6 and looking to send Kansas packing. Hit with the block on London Davis, the freshman from Ohio. And remember, Monet said, wait a minute, that was out? Let's see what the official call is. Now, Ray Bouchard thinks that went out off Pitt. Let's see what the officials say. They will talk this one over.
So not using a challenge yet, but asking the official.
Let's see, off the Pitt block. Off member Monet. London Davis on the attack. It's tough to get a view of where exactly it landed. But you saw member Monet genuinely surprised, saying, wait a minute, that was out?
Yeah.
I don't think that was just acting, but we'll find out here on the
so
call.
So often, their original reaction certainly tells a large part of the story.
Well, Ray Bouchard doesn't look thrilled. Let's see. That looked in from there.
Well, and I think the interesting thing about this is so often when the ball's out of bounds, it travels out of bounds to the right of the attacker. Well, she is so far out of bounds that the ball comes off the block to her left, but yet Kansas still thinks it was out of bounds. She was just so far off the court when she took the swing. So it's it looks different than most attacks from the right side.
And they're going to challenge it, even if it isn't. You can't blame them. I mean, it's all or nothing right here with your season on the line for Ray Bouchard.
Yeah. So off of the Pitt block, it travels off the hands of member Monet. And does it land inbounds or out of bounds? It's interesting because it lands to the left.
Yeah, it's in.
Oh yeah, definitely in, excuse me.
But again, you can't blame them. I mean, it is what it is right now for this Cinderella story Jayhawks team. And the first time they've even been in the tournament in 4 years. Just the third regional semifinal in program history. They also were here in 2015 and 2013. And we are getting word that they're going to reverse the call and say out on Pitt.
Okay, so then I would say off of the member Monet block, did it catch a piece of the antenna? Because it obviously landed in bounds and the antenna is out of bounds. So that would be the other question.
There's a smile from Ray Bouchard saying, thank you, finally a call goes my way.
And from where they sit, they've got a great look at the antenna. So that could definitely be what they saw.
Again, the Jayhawks hanging around. It's not over yet, within 5. Lost the first set by 6, the second one by 4. Let's see if it hit the antenna off of member Monet.
Oh, it definitely hit the antenna. The question is, did it hit the antenna off the attack or off the block? Wow, interesting. Yeah, did it hit the antenna off the attack or off the block? They're saying it hit the antenna off the block. So they're saying,
okay.
Yeah, and I see that now. Yeah.
Looks to be the correct call. Kansas with the point. Jayhawks within 5. Lacey Angelo serving for Kansas. Again, trailing 2-0. But diving in for that one was Browski to save that from being an ace. Mosher. Jayhawks down by 4.
Good job by Mosher there, just ripping one off the block. And again, this is such a big physical Pitt team that when Fairbanks, who sets in 3 rotations, is in the front row, that's definitely their smallest blocker across the front line.
Yeah, this is a scrappy Kansas team. But Pitt comes right back with the point.
And Pitt has such a great middle attack, but you're really dependent on the pass in order to get those attackers going. And Lund back there, remember Monet has taken a lot of balls and serve receive, doing a great job of controlling first contact.
You could see Gray clap her hands, saying, I'm open, I'm right there,
Yeah.
send it my way. She delivered, there's an ace, and the 3C Pitt starting to pull away here now, up by 6 in set number 3.
That sort of communication certainly happens on the court where players, you know, it gives them a sound as a setter to hear where that attacker is. You know, great communication.
6 aces on the day for Pitt. The Kansas response. I mean, it would have been easy considering, hey, we got this far.
Yeah.
We're just happy to be here. It would have been easy when Pitt went on a 10-0 run earlier in the match to just call it a season, and they just have refused to do that.
Langs and Crawford, not only are they long, they're both so good from side to side.
Another Kansas block, but out of bounds. 19-12.
The block is late, trying to catch up on that one here. And you can see it, when you're late and you're floating, attackers can just spray it off your hands.
Pitt up by 6. Serena Gray. Bien, too strong.
Again, they like that matchup they have, swinging at the left pin when Fairbanks is in the front row. And we said earlier, not a lot of small swings from Kansas. You see lots of big, long rips.
Serena Gray with 2 aces today, and there is number 3.
You really want to be a team who in 6 rotations, whoever you send back to the service line is a threat. And there was a time in the game of volleyball where one of your middle blockers will typically end up serving because your libero can only serve for one of them. And there was a time in the game when that middle blocker, no one really expected them to be a good server. It wasn't a part of their arsenal, and yet you just can't afford that in today's game. You have to have 6 good servers. And Serena Gray as a middle blocker is a great one.
And Pitt has had 3 different players deliver an ace. Gray with 3, Lund with 3, member Monet with 1 as well. Ferris serving, just got over the net. Lund wound up. Turner taps it over and in past the diving member Monet.
She's got great vision, doesn't she? Just like a point guard who just sees the floor so well.
And just a freshman. Kennedy Ferris, the junior. Lund denied by that Kansas defense. They've been there all night. Dig by the Jayhawks. Bien punched at by Akeo. Diving attempt made by Turner to keep it alive. Bien finishes off the point.
And I just said moments ago, you don't see a lot of small swings from Kansas, just big, long rips. But wow, Bien couldn't have picked a better time. Everyone waiting for the big rip. And look at this. She disguises it well. High elbow, drops it right over the block.
Deficit back to 5. Lund, the Jayhawks pulling within 4.
And you can see Coach Fisher just doesn't like the lack of focus. He doesn't like one error stacked on top of another because he knows moving forward his team can't afford that.
So if you're producing this, do you put any stock into that? Does that make you feel any better about this matchup, or no? You don't look at it that way.
Well, I mean, I think you just know that, you know, once you put pressure on a team, all of a sudden, the mistakes start to ratchet up, but it starts with pressure. It starts with the blocking pressure we're seeing from Kansas, good serves. And so putting pressure on a team can cause them to look a lot different.
A little confusion over whose water that is there. Coach Shondell looks on. He can smile now after, I mean, there were some tight, tense moments earlier today between his squad and BYU. At one point, Purdue was down 2-1. They were trailing almost the entire 5th set, but they survive and play on.
BYU had several opportunities at match point, and Purdue had to fight back to tie it up at 14-all, and eventually goes to extra points. Some beautiful serving by Jenna Otek to finish that one off.
Purdue awaits. The winner of the Boilermakers face off Saturday, 4 Eastern on ESPNU. And the victor there moves on to Columbus, Ohio to the national semifinal to take on the winner out of the Austin, Texas regional. Those 2 matches will take place later on tonight. Kansas, meanwhile, on a 4-0 run here in the 3rd set. Not ready to go home to Lawrence just yet. Kennedy Ferris. Flying in for the point was Rachel Fairbanks, the freshman. You can see Kansas kind of drifting over to the other side, worried about Wokolo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was a great choice. You know, you can kind of, you feel like you can kind of stack one side of the net. I don't think that was the set anyone was expecting.
Service error. 6th of the contest by Pitt. Each club has 6.
And you know, Coach Fisher would love to see Pitt sort of put their foot on the gas and close this one out, but we've seen some errors here late.
Cameron Turner, the freshman, 10 aces on the year coming into this one. Lund, Ferris unable to get to it, 22-17.
And Pitt certainly has not overused a Lund. You know, coming into this, she had 21 kills. She's only had 17 attempts today. And in a match where they don't have to have her, as we've mentioned, recovering from an upper body injury is what we've been told. I think any chance to not overuse her is only good moving forward.
And there is an ace for Lund, and that is her 4th of the day.
Such focus, such maturity. It's like having a coach on the floor with Kayla Lund out there.
A coach who's also a heck of a player. Pitt now with 8 aces in the contest. Turner setting it up. Diving for that one is Lund.
Wow.
Free ball for Kansas. That dropped in nicely by Caroline Crawford, but let's go back to Lund just a second ago.
What a save by Lund. A Pitt team who has said they're just looking for a few more blocks, a few more digs to improve their game defensively, to lengthen their season as much as possible, and great effort.
And looking pretty healthy there. Ende with the point, set point, match point coming up with the Panthers with a chance to move on to the regional final. Fans on their feet here at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse in Pittsburgh. Valeria Vasquez Gomez, the redshirt sophomore, serving for the match. Oh, and there it is! What a way to end it! Pittsburgh is moving on to the regional finals.
Yeah, I hate to see it if you're Kansas. It certainly looks like a lucky roll, but I'll tell you what, Vasquez Gomez seems to have a knack for serving in tight situations and coming up with big points for Pittsburgh.
The